Hello, guys, and welcome to my most surprising games of 2020. So keep in mind, this is not necessarily my favorite games of 2020 or anything like that. There's definitely a lot of overlap here, but what I'm kind of trying to do with this list is it's in the title, things that surprised me, things that I might not have played otherwise, or things that really cleared my expectations when I was sitting down. So we're counting down top 5 biggest surprises for me 2020, starting with number 5, which is Isle of U. So I remember when I sat down to record Isle of U, I was thinking about how I'd play, 20 minutes of this kind of weird free sheep game, and then I would have a laugh about it, throw some sheep off a cliff, whatever. But that is the exact opposite of what happened. I played the game start to finish over the course of an hour, and I loved just about every second of it. Just like a really, really lovely package, from the art style to the gameplay to the cute dialogue. Just the whole world they put together is a delightful place to be. They have all of these mechanics that you unlock as you're playing that sort of, allow you to traverse the world in new ways that I think is really smartly paced out. And on top of all that, it's just kind of silly to walk around with 15 sheep on top of your head. I mean, what are you going to complain about there? It's cool as hell. So like I said, when I'm talking about surprises here in the context of this list, sometimes that means how far did it clear the bar of what I was expecting, and I had absolutely no expectations of this. It was a random Steam game that was served up to me in my Discover queue or whatever. The screenshots looked kind of wacky, so I just thought I'd give it a try, and it was something that it was just such a positive experience from something that I wasn't expecting at all. So I wanted to highlight this as the number 5 spot on my list because to whoever developed this, the folks in the credits there, you made something really, really cool, I thought. It was a great focused idea, it didn't drag on too long, you had an impeccable art style. It's just such a welcoming world that you made that I want to see more of it. I believe it was a student game. So yeah, I thought you did great. So I wanted to highlight it here. Good job. I loved it. At number 4, we have Mario 35. So Mario 35 was about as surprising as a video game could be in terms of its release. I hadn't heard anything about it. It seemed like nobody really knew anything about it until the day it was announced, and then it was released 3 or 4 weeks later, I think. I'm a huge fan of Mario. I'm a Tetris 99 player. It seemed like a match made in heaven to me. I was so excited about it. Some of the rules were really tough to grasp at first. Some stuff still feels arbitrary to me, even after I've put several hours into it, but it is so much fun. Playing these levels in a competitive scenario is just a really unique feeling. Duking it out with other people, when you finally get a win, it's so satisfying because the games can be kind of long. And the way that they pass enemies around from player to player as they die just creates these really, really unique situations that you thought you would never see, like hundreds of Lakitus on 1-1. I think if you were to try and put together the concepts of Mario and Battle Royale, they did a pretty good job of it, honestly. But really, I think it just comes down to a lack of variety. They do have the special mode games that I played in a video a little while back, and those can be a lot of fun, but it's kind of still more of the same. It just starts you on a different level. So it just doesn't super get me excited, but at the end of the day, it is still really fun. I didn't stick with it like I did with a lot of the other games on this list, but it was still super fun. It was still super surprising. And I enjoyed it a lot. I just hope Nintendo takes another stab at something like this, maybe a little bit more fleshed out, but in the same style. At number 3, we have Sizable. So if you guys have been on my channel recently, you probably know that I've done a lot of ranting and raving about how much I loved Sizable. It was kind of similar to Isle of U in the sense that I didn't really have any expectations when I jumped into this game. I just saw it while I was scrolling through itch.io. I kind of got pulled in immediately because it had an art style that was so similar to my favorite game of 2019, which is Islanders. Keeping in mind, this is not a final game. It's just a proof of concept, a few different levels from a game that's coming out next year, but it is my list, so if I want to include a game from 2021 on my list, I absolutely will, and you can't do anything about it. Sorry. I think part of the reason that Sizable was a huge surprise for me was because I don't really have a great history with puzzle games. Maybe it's a tonal thing, maybe it's a complexity thing, I'm not sure. And I was thinking about that while I booted up Sizable, but it almost immediately put all of those worries to bed. I think you can see it in my face as soon as I start clicking things up and down for the first time. That it just feels so good. I'm a fiddler, I'm a fidget spinner, I'm whatever. I like the tactile things. I like tactile games. And I responded immediately to this, like moving things around, shrinking things, growing things, seeing things pop out of other things. It just zapped all of the like perfect spots in my brain. And on top of that, it looks great, it feels great, but it's also really smart. The puzzles that are within that proof of concept, they aren't too hard, but they're enough to sort of get the fans blowing in your head. It's really rewarding to just poke around the little worlds of these levels and manipulate things and just see what things you can change, even if they don't have anything to do with the solution. I never felt like I was trapped or like I was falling into a fail state in the levels, and I loved that. You can just turn over stones and open boxes until you find the next step, and it's just all around delightful. So yeah, if you haven't treated yourself to the demo of this game, go to Steam, go to HIO, give it a try, please. I recommend it so much, and I cannot wait until it comes out next year. So huge surprise, loved it. Coming in at number 2, we have Hades. Now, I'm definitely not the first person to say that Hades is easily one of the most highly polished games released this year. It's just like a nearly flawless execution on the roguelike genre that's been really heavily saturated the last few years. There was a time when I played Binding of Isaac just about every single day for a year, so I'm fairly familiar with the trappings of this genre, and that's the only time that a game like that has really gotten its claws into me. So I thought I may never love again, but Hades has been the second roguelike in my life. It's a truly incredible game, top to bottom. Every element is done with just such supreme care and craftsmanship. The art style, the combat, the upgrades, the dialogue. There's relationships with the different characters that you meet along the way. There's a litany of all these different concepts that are going on, and they all harmonize together in just a really, really exciting way. From the very first run, like I could tell that I was going to have a ton of fun with this game, and it's only continued to surprise me from there. Even on totally inconsequential runs where I die in the second or third chamber for whatever reason, I still feel like something is often revealed to me. You know, there's always a new piece of dialogue, there's always just like a new person hanging around, there's always something else to notice or see that's going on. I didn't play Supergiant's other games, I never touched Bastion or Transistor. I understand that they're somewhat similar. Perhaps this game wouldn't have surprised me as much if I had played those, but just an unbelievable game. Even at this point, I'm comfortable giving it the second spot on this list. Maybe after another 10 or 20 hours, I'm going to be kicking myself for not giving it the number 1 spot, but for now, I mean, it's going to go here. Let's just all agree that Hades, super good game. Really, really, really good. Go play it if you haven't. I'm sad that I took so long to pick it up, so Hades, amazing. And at number 1, my biggest surprise of the year has got to be Fall Guys. Now, had I done my research on Fall Guys beyond just blasting them in the face with t-shirts during Devolverland Expo, I probably could have known that I would love it. It's a battle royale game, it's got goofy, stupid physics, it's got a high skill ceiling, and it's platforming. All of this stuff really speaks to me. All around, it's just a really, really lovable game. It's a blast to just stumble around levels at first. You die in all of these goofy, funny ways. It's not really rage-inducing at all, at least I haven't found. And then eventually you'll fall ass backwards into your first crown, and that just feels fantastic. Not to mention that probably my favorite multiplayer experience in a long time has been jumping into Fall Guys with 3 other friends.
I'm like right there with you.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win! No! Shit.
No, I did it! What does this game want from me?
So much fun. Even after playing it for several hours, I think there's still a lot there for you. There's a big new track of rewards every season, and there's a fairly steady diet of updates. As I mentioned before, there's a pretty high skill ceiling in this game, and coming out on top is tough. So if you're someone like me that appreciates like some kind of speedrun strategies, high level play, there's a lot there for you if you really want to be someone that like is competing for the crown every single time you load it up. And the games go fast, so you can jump in, you can mess around, you can lose, and you can jump back in without feeling too bad about it, without feeling like you've wasted your night. Like I said, the music also is supreme, it slaps. However, the game also does not rely on audio at all, so a huge bonus for me has been that I can play it on mute and just listen to podcasts and zone out for the night. That is, in my life, that's a huge, huge bonus. So while I probably could have known that this would be a great game for me, it did still surprise me a lot. And furthermore, it surprised me that I love it as much as I do. As of this recording, I have over 130 hours logged in the game, and that's right before the release of Season 3, which means I'm almost guaranteed to do another 20 or 30 hours just to finish out the reward track for Season 3. Congratulations, Fall Guys, you were the biggest surprise of the year for me, and I'll probably be playing you again right after this recording finishes. I also just wanted to take a second here at the end and say, this is actually my 100th video since I started this summer. Pretty wild to think that I've sat down here and recorded 100 times now. I can't thank you guys enough for watching. It's just been such a it's been such a good thing to keep busy and to do something that I enjoy so much, and to have friends of mine tune in and enjoy it as well, so thank you for that. If you don't know any of the games on this list, I'm going to have links in the description to it on Steam or on itch, wherever places that you can go and play these yourself. This is just day one of my Game of the Year videos, so come back tomorrow if you want. I'm actually going to be debating with a game developer friend of mine. We're going to be making a list of our top 5 to 10 games of the year. We're going to be fighting it out and agreeing on a top list together. So that'll be very fun, very exciting, and that is coming out tomorrow. And then the day after that, whatever game wins that debate, I'm just going to do a regular video on that game the next day. So you'll get to see, a good 10, 15, 20-minute gameplay video of the best game of the year on Boxing Day. Thank you guys again for watching. I've got a big archive of 99 other videos you can go back and watch. I'd really appreciate it if you did. Hope you guys are having a wonderful end to your years. Until next time, I'll just say bye for now and go play all these games if you haven't played them yet. Tons of fun.